What's up, guys? So today we're talking about the 10 things to think about when you get your first tattoo.
Hey guys, welcome back to Gent. I'm George, this is Blake. Today we are talking about tattoos. But first, if you have not hit that subscribe button yet, hit that right now. Make sure you ding that little bell icon so you get notified every time we release a new video. Now, there are 10 things on this list that we think every guy should know before they get their first tattoo. So Blake and I both have tattoos, and there are some things on this list that we wish someone would have told us.
So George and I are going to be speaking from experience, good and bad. We got tattoos when we were younger, and we got tattoos a couple weeks ago.
And you got tattoos a couple weeks ago.
I got tattoos. And the number one thing to think about when getting your first tattoo is know what you want.
So when you're getting your first tattoo, guys, everything sounds like a pretty good idea at the time because usually you're pretty young at the time and you're like, this is a new thing for me, so let's try something out. But I would definitely recommend putting your ideas in some sort of book or listing them somewhere and then coming back to them, 3, 6 months or 8 months later. And if you still want them and you still seems like a good idea, then go get the tattoo. All right, guys, number 2 on the list is think about the style that you want to do it in. So, you want traditional, you want portraiture, you want color, no color, cartoony, watercolor. There's a ton of different styles to look up, and you really need to decide, what you want and if you care that, multiple tattoos would be different styles.
Speaking from experience, so what George is going to, I have like various styles of tattoos. Now at this age in time, 30 years old, I love portraits. I love like really detailed. When I was younger, I went with the tribal. I mean, it doesn't really flow.
Do you know what tribe you belong to?
It was just, it looked cool when I got it, guys. Okay, I was young. Don't forget, you're young. Don't make dumb decisions. Anyways, but if I had a portrait or if I had a similar theme, my whole sleeve would go a lot better. And it would look a lot better. So I guess just figure out what style of tattoo you want. And number 3, guys, is where do you want it? Like, do you want it on your arm, your bicep, your leg?
Guys, now you're super lucky because tattoos are so much more acceptable now than even they were 10 years ago. So you guys are gonna have a much easier time. But if I could give any sort of recommendation, just make sure you can cover it up with a dress shirt and pants for the most part. Maybe stay away from the knuckle tattoos and the throat tattoos at first.
Please.
But I mean, everywhere else is kind of fine. So for my 2 tattoos, I really had no idea what I was doing with my life. Like, I was going to film school, but I thought maybe I might have some sort of corporate job one day. So I got my 2 tattoos on my foot and my ankle. So, a pair of socks, covered up. All right, guys, number 4 on the list, do some research on your artist. Like, I really wouldn't recommend walking into a tattoo shop and just going willy-nilly with someone who happens to be in the shop at the time. Luckily, I had a ton of friends in bands, and if you know anything about guys in bands, they have tons of tattoos. So I had a lot of people to bounce ideas off of, and they knew a lot of really, really good tattoo artists that I could go to. So I got mine from friends of friends, so we had a really good connection. But make sure, you do your research on the internet and, look at their portfolio of work, because most times people post the really, really good stuff. So, if you can see a very, very consistent basis and maybe talk to somebody who's been tattooed by them before, you can really get a good feel for who you're going to. All right, guys, number 5 on the list, your tattoo should not be cheap. Now, granted, the size does make a difference, but if you're looking for a deal on a tattoo, you shouldn't be getting a tattoo. Because they are expensive, and it's a piece of art. Like, if you're gonna get a canvas in your house that's made by a really well-known artist, you gotta pay for it. And this is permanent on your body, so you can't just take it off the wall and put it in the closet if it sucks one day. So make sure you're paying enough.
Well, because it is an investment.
Yes.
Right? Make sure you're paying enough because it is an investment. Speaking from experience, I went cheap on this tattoo, and you can clearly see it. Like, it faded within about a year and a half. The lines aren't as strong as George is saying, and it just doesn't look at best. I got a deal on this one, and deal is never good. My tribal is not my favorite, but I paid more for it, and it still looks dark and rich, and it still looks vibrant. Maybe it wasn't the right choice, but I went with the right artist on that one.
All right, guys, up next on the list is consider your skin tone. So the darker you are, the less color and things are going to show up well. Like if you're like a pasty white boy, color's gonna look so good on you because it's gonna pop. It's gonna, Blake color would look good on Blake, honestly. But if the darker you get, the more it kind of starts to mute the colors, and I do think that black and white is the way to go the darker you are.
Yes. All right, guys, and the next one, this isn't obvious, but it's gonna hurt regardless of where you get it at. People always say, it doesn't hurt, I was fine. No, fuck that, dude. It hurts, okay?
If you're going straight on the bone, it's going to hurt more. So ribs, feet, shins, this area right here, your chest is going to be kind of the worst. And then anywhere where there's a little bit of meat, like a calf or a thigh or your butt or your arms, you're gonna have a little, the outside of your arms, you're gonna have a little less. But, so for me, I actually did my foot first, which is probably the most painful. And I think it was kind of a very, very good decision because I didn't know what a tattoo was supposed to feel like. So I just felt like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like. And then I got my second one and I was like, this is nothing. And then he touched up my foot that day, he redid it. And I was like, holy shit. I'm so glad, because I sat for 3 hours for my foot.
Dude.
And I don't even want to get my other foot done because I know how bad it hurts.
I wouldn't even go there. Your foot or your side right here, 86 there, I'm not doing it.
All right, guys, up next on the list is make sure you are following proper care routines after you get your tattoo. So I wouldn't recommend getting a tattoo on vacation or on a whim, just because, especially if you're in like a tropical beachy type thing, you can't go swimming afterwards. It's gonna wreck the tattoo. So make sure you're putting on the moisturizers, make sure you're keeping it wrapped like they tell you to. Also,
stay out the sun.
Stay out of the sun. Make sure you're putting sunscreen on after you have it to protect the color or the tattoo. And don't pick the scabs and don't scratch it.
No.
And number 9 on the list is think about, is there a meaning behind your tattoo and if that even matters to you. If it doesn't matter to you, cool. But if there is a meaning behind it, really, really think about what that meaning is. So my 2 tattoos are really meaningful for me. So the one on my foot is kind of, because I went off to California and I got really homesick and missed my hometown. And so I got the outline of the symbol for Pennsylvania, which is a keystone because it's the Keystone State, essentially the Heinz ketchup logo with the cityscape and then a heart as like a sunrise. So it says home is where your heart is because I really missed home. And then my other tattoo is a matchstick, which I have with 12 of my best friends from home.
That's pretty cool.
And Blake just watched my other friend get tattooed in Nashville.
I did.
The 13th member right there.
Lucky number.
Yeah, so basically that was kind of lyrics to a song that we all listened to back when we were in college. And
Matchbox 20, right?
Yeah, no. It's a 4-year strong song. If you guys know it, comment it down below. If you guys can guess.
Yeah, so we're not saying every tattoo should have a meaning, but like when I was 19 years old getting this tattoo, like the meaning I had was that I wanted to be cool, and that was the worst meaning behind it. There was no meaning. So if you can have a meaning, then maybe go with that route.
Right. What about your arm?
So now I'm doing it like a religious thing to show my faith, and I have like different portraits from my religion.
Mm-hmm.
And number 10, guys, this is taken from experience that it's permanent, so it's for life. It's not gonna go anywhere, and if you try to take it off, it's gonna hurt even more. So you gotta really think about your tattoo and know that it's gonna last and it's gonna be on your body for life.
Remember, guys, tattoo removal is super expensive, so if you plan to go cheap and meaningless on your tattoo, it's going to be more expensive to take it off. So that pretty much wraps up our video on how to think about getting your first tattoo. I hope this was helpful. Remember, guys, think about what you want, where you want it, the artist you want to do it. Don't cheap out. Take care of your tattoo. Wear sunscreen. And think about the meaning behind your tattoos.
Yes.
So once again, thank you guys for watching. If you have not hit that subscribe button yet, hit that right now. Hit that little bell icon so you get notified every time we release a new video. And comment down below what tattoos on us were your favorite ones and which ones you like and which ones you think were the worst. It'll be fun, right? All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.